Vincent Harris, and today I'm going to talk about mixed state communication or mixed channel communication. And mixed channel communication simply means that our verbal message and our nonverbal message are different. They're at odds with one another. In fact, maybe even opposite. Now, typically, in most communication, we want our verbal message and our nonverbal message to be congruent or complement each other. So, for example, if I'm saying yes verbally, I want to be nodding and have my nonverbal supporting the verbal. So the two are communicating the same message. There are times, however, when you can mix the two up to create kind of a mild state of confusion, if you will, invoke the sense of humor, which lowers the defenses of the listener or the audience, but to also rely on the fact that in most cases, most people, when they are presented with mixed channel communication, meaning when somebody's talking to them and they're saying one thing verbally and then with their nonverbals sending an entirely different message, the listener will most often default to the nonverbal message to try to make sense of it or try to get to the truth. In most all of my presentations, my seminars, my trainings, at some point in the training, and usually it's somewhere near the beginning, I say I'm going to make a fairly odd request of you. In fact, it's a request that I'm sure no trainer's ever asked of you before. I'm going to ask that you don't believe a word that I say. And then I'd go on to tell them my reasoning for that. And my reasoning being that I don't want them to take this at face value and just do it because it's what that guy said. I want them to go out and find out for themselves, because when they do, they'll get their own feedback that will either validate what I say or invalidate what I had told them. But while I'm telling them this, I say one of the most dangerous things that we ever do is to just take what somebody tells us at face value, to never question it, and to never go out and implement it and find out for ourselves. We always assume that because somebody has on a suit and tie or a certain title like PhD or doctor or a certain certificate behind their desk, we always assume they know what they're talking about. Is that always true? Now, what did I just do? I sent mixed channel communication. In fact, I was asking a question verbally, wasn't I? I was asking a question, is that always true? But non-verbally, I was indicating no simultaneously. And again, by default, when mixed state communication is coming at you, you will go to the nonverbal message to try to get at the truth. So as I'm asking the question, is that true, shaking my head no, because it creates a mild state of confusion, because it is more than the brain can handle. They're getting one message verbally, they're getting one message which is at odds with the verbal message non-verbally, and it creates that mild state of confusion. And what do a lot of people do when they're stressed or confused? And by the way, confusion is a mild form of stress. They laugh. But laughter lowers defenses. And you can think of lowering the defenses of someone as making them more open to suggestion or more open to your idea. So I'm combining a lot of things there. I'm using that mixed channel communication to create the confusion, but not just to confuse somebody. I create that confusion for a purpose so that they will laugh. And laughter is infectious, so when one person in an audience laughs, it spreads very quickly and they all laugh, which means it lowers the defenses of everyone in the room. But I'm also simultaneously, I'm also indicating very powerfully by shaking my head no, that it's not always true that when somebody has on a shirt and tie and a certificate and PhD after their name, that they know what they're saying. Now, why would I go through all of that trouble to send mixed channel communication when I could just tell somebody that's not true? Because I know that in any given audience, I may very well have doctors. I may have people with PhD after their name. I may have people with big titles and big certificates behind their desk, or people who wear shirt and ties every day. And I don't think I have to tell you how easily people can become wrapped up in self-importance and begin to take themselves too seriously. So if I were to just come out and say that PhD after your name or shirt and tie or a certain certificate or degree behind your desk does not mean you're telling the truth, that would raise the defenses of people in that room, or I would run the risk of that. And when that happens, much of the rest of your message or your day or the training is going to fall on deaf ears. So by using that mixed channel communication, I can both lower defenses and then kind of bypass that critical analytical thinking and get them to accept something that's needed for them to be able to go on to the next step. So for mixed channel communication, you simply want to say one thing verbally or send one meaning verbally and send something slightly different all the way to completely opposite non-verbally. So for example, things that are at complete opposite ends, I could say yes or no. No, I won't do that. Yes, I'll be over there right after work. Now those are on opposite ends of the spectrum. The example that I was using was a little milder because I was asking a question, so I was almost in that neutral zone with my verbal message, but there was nothing neutral at all about my nonverbal message when I said, is that always true? Go out and have fun with this. Start off by playing with your friends. Please don't immediately take this into the workplace because you'll really have people rattled and wondering what's the matter with you. Start off with your friends and family. Tell them what's going on. Ask them for their response and their feedback. And as you begin to master this, have fun with it. Use it to enhance not only your life, but the lives of the people that you work with and come in contact with. This is Vincent Harris, signing off till next time.